Okay, so getting back into Spawn for Spawn Sundays, we pick up with Spawn number 46 and Spawn number 47. Yes, another two-part storyline. Guys, don't worry. Sooner or later, we're going to be able to dive into deeper, longer stories. For right now, just a two-part books. Either way, when it comes to Spawn number 46, we actually pick up with a character known as Johnny Terenzo. And when it comes to Johnny Terenzo, he does seem like your regular guy, your regular, husband slash father. He's having a good night with his family, except that is the moment where he is confronted by guys who work for Vito Gravano. Now, Vito Gravano is an older character at this point in Spawn comics. We saw him in the early days, and he is a mafia boss in New York, and Spawn have been dealing with him off and on throughout the entire Spawn run. But it has been a very long time since we saw this character. Now, the reason why Vito is sending a bunch of guys over to Johnny because Johnny has been stealing money from Vito, and that is a huge no-no. And so Vito had to make Johnny become an example. If you steal from him, you gotta die. And so, of course, Johnny was killed off right outside his own house. So his wife had to hear the gunshot, run out, and find the body of her dead husband. Literally messed up. Now, you also have Vito saying that, listen, even though Johnny did steal from me, I'm going to make sure that he has a proper bearing and make sure that his wife and child will be okay. Except that is the moment where he does get a call from his boss. Yes, that's right. Vito is the boss of this area of New York, but the boss got a boss, and that will be Mr. Bartino. Now, we haven't met Mr. Bartino just yet, but the way the phone call goes, you can tell that Vito is very scared of Bartino, meaning that sooner or later, once he does appear, it could lead to more problems for Vito, but also for Spawn as well. But checking up on Spawn, we see him now back in New York, but he's still trying to recover from his last battle against Curse. Now, at this point, we're like 8 issues since the last battle, or really 6 issues since his last battle against Curse. But Curse did do a number on Spawn. Let's not forget, Curse tried to dissect Spawn to hopefully learn more about Spawn, to hopefully learn more about how Hell Spawns work, because Curse believed that he was doing God's work. In reality, he wasn't. Either way, right now, it's Spawn trying to reclaim control over his suit, the symbiote suit, because his suit is alive, but technically it's taking over his body, and sooner or later, one of the two is gonna win. And so Spawn is trying his best to control the suit, but at the same time, he still needs to recover after his battle against Curse. And so what he's doing right now is he's absorbing the evilness of different kind of creatures that don't touch the light. So like rats, worms, they're the creatures of the night, the creatures of the dark, and he's trying to absorb their evil to hopefully fix his injuries and then be able to control his suit. But then we pick up with Wanda and Terry. Now, Wanda and Terry are very important in Spawn comics. Wanda is the ex-wife of Spawn, and Terry is the old best friend of Spawn. And the two of them got married not right after, but a couple years after Spawn had died 5 years ago. Either way, when it came to Wanda and Terry in our last videos, they got sick, and we're left to believe that this is being done by Jason Wynn. Because let's not forget, Jason was the guy who killed off Spawn, but at the same time, Jason is working with Violator, a demon creature from hell, and they're trying to go after the loved ones of Spawn. And so recently, both Wanda and Terry have been coughing a lot. Now, when it comes to Wanda, she's okay. When it comes to Terry, he's getting worse and worse. And matter of fact, he had to leave work early to come home and get some rest. And so we're left to believe that Terry could possibly die down the road, or at least just have some huge infection or some virus that was given to him by Jason Wynn. But then we pick up with some random characters. Now, these random characters are not going to be important at all. Well, somewhat, because these two guys, they work for Vito. They're like top in the ranking of his organization of crime. The problem is each of these guys are killed off just like that. And you're left to believe, okay, could this be Spawn? Because Spawn is right now having a hard time controlling his suit. But in reality, it's not Spawn. It's somebody else coming here to New York to hopefully get revenge against Vito, but at the same time hoping that Spawn will help them get revenge against Vito for what he has done to their lives. Either way, the two guys that work for Vito, they were killed off just like that. Bam, bam. And that right there concerns Vito a lot. We then pick up with Spawn and Cagliostro, where you have Cagliostro telling Spawn two things. Now, when it comes to Cagliostro, we still have no idea what the origin of this character is at all. We still have no idea. But he does tell Spawn two different things. The first is that Tiffany is not dead. And Tiffany was the bad guy in our last video, who was another angel trying to come after Spawn, because she was very upset about the idea that Angela was not able to kill off Spawn, but on top of that, let Spawn go. And she hated Angela a lot. Either way, when Tiffany tried to go after Spawn, Spawn had killed her off. Or we thought he did. We come to find out from Cagliostro, to kill off an angel, you have to absorb their light. If you don't, they'll have the ability to come right back to life again and cause more problems for you. But on top of that, you have Cagliostro telling Spawn, you have to make the right moves. And what he is saying is that you're playing in the devil's hand. Why are you doing that? Every move you make is helping the devil out or God out. Why not try to make your own moves to help yourself out? And then you have Cagliostro just disappear. But we kind of find out who was going around killing off all the people who were working for Vito. Well, it's an old character known as Tremor. And when it comes to Tremor, he was a monster as well, but he was trying to leave that life behind for his wife and kid. Unfortunately, he was working for Vito, and Vito did not like the idea of Tremor trying to leave. And so he basically killed off Tremor's wife and kid, but at the same time made Tremor go through one horrible scientific experiment that turned him into this creature right here. And ever since then, Vito has been technically targeted by Tremor. And this is Tremor saying, I am finally here to kill you off. I finally found your base. I am going to get revenge for what you did to me and my family. Now, here's the thing, because to Tremor, he believes that Vito killed off his entire family, not just his wife and kid, but like his brother as well. Well, you have Vito say, you cannot kill me, because if you do kill me, then your brother is going to die, which tells us that his brother is still alive, just somewhere out there in the world. And so Tremor says, okay, you know what? I am going to back off for now, because clearly you're holding my brother hostage as a way to control me. I need to think of a new game plan. And so Tremor leaves. And so you have Tremor go over to Spawn, or where Spawn is at, because let's not forget, Spawn did promise Tremor that sooner or later they're going to work together to go after Vito and to bring him down. And so this is Tremor saying, hey, it's time for you to come help me take down Vito. Except at this point in time, Spawn is not really big in helping people. He's trying to handle his own problems at the moment. Either way, you then have Tremor say, you're going to help me. And the reason why? Because I heard Vito. He mentioned a bunch of names. Terry, Wanda. And those first two names are very important, because that means Vito knows all the loved ones of Spawn, which means that sooner or later Vito could go after them as well, as a way to get to Spawn. And this could make Spawn wanting to help Tremor take down Vito once and for all. But we get into Spawn number 47, and when we do, it's really more of Spawn telling Tremor that he doesn't feel like he should get involved in this mess at all. Like, he's really not down to help, even though Tremor said, hey, by the way, Vito is planning to go after people that are close to you. You should most likely want to get involved. And you have Spawn like, I don't know, bro. But then you have Tremor bring over another guy named Billy who works for Vito as well. And we kind of find out through Billy that Vito believed that Terry was Spawn. And matter of fact, we saw that all the way back into the earlier comics of Spawn, where Vito did believe that Terry was Spawn. And so apparently Vito had this guy Billy follow Terry around until he was able to prove that Spawn was Terry. Unfortunately, Billy couldn't do that. But for Vito, he still wanted Terry watched because he's also looking into Jason Wynn as well. And so you have Billy say, yeah, so Jason Wynn, Wanda, Terry, all these different people who are close to you in some kind of way were being watched by Vito. And that right there tells Spawn, fine, okay, Tremor, I'll help you out dealing with this freaking Vito problem. Let's go ahead and go now. We then jump over to Jason Wynn and Violator. And when we do, this is where we get reminded that these two characters are working together. Now, when it comes to Jason Wynn, Jason is just more of a guy who was responsible for the death of Al Simmons, but he's being forced here to work with Violator. If he doesn't, well, of course, Violator will kill him off. So he has no choice here but to help the guy out. And when it comes to Violator, he is your demon, your regular demon from hell, who was created by Malbolgia, the devil of the 8th circle. But when it comes to Violator, he has been working with Jason Wynn as a way to go after the loved ones of Al Simmons. And the reason why, because Violator hates Spawn with the passion. And for the longest time, we had no idea why. Well, we kind of find out why. Because apparently, when it comes to Violator, he feels like humans who become Hellspawns should not have the right to become captains to lead the army of hell against the forces of heaven. Because there is going to be a big war down the road. And when that war comes, of course, you're going to have the Hellspawns being the one in charge of leading the army of hell against the forces of heaven. And that bothers Violator a lot. He feels like demons who are born in hell should be the ones to lead the army. Not these Hellspawns who are humans who just died, went to hell, given a symbiote suit, and then put back on Earth to be trained to become a great captain. That right there to Violator is not okay. And so right now, him and Jason are still plotting to go after the loved ones of Al Simmons. But this is where we begin the process of wrapping up today's video, because we actually do pick up with Tremor and also Spawn paying a visit to Vito one last time. Well, hopefully one last time. We already know it's not going to be the last time. Either way, when they do get to his office, you have Tremor going first. And this is Tremor saying, I'm going to make sure I kill off Vito once and for all. Except Vito does have something over Tremor, his brother. Now let's not forget, Tremor believed that his brother was actually dead, to only find out that his brother is not dead, he is alive and well. And matter of fact, when it comes to his brother, he's working for Vito right now and trying to protect Vito from Tremor. It's brother versus brother. Now, when it comes to Tremor's brother, he believed that his own brother Tremor was dead, alongside his wife and kid. Only come to find out that is not true. That Tremor was alive, he was just put through one horrible scientific experiment. Either way, you have Spawn jump in, being able to take down both Vito and also take down Tremor's brother before his brother could kill off his own brother. Either way, once you have Spawn handle all three characters, you then have Spawn go over to Vito and say, you are going to leave all of us alone. Tremor, his brother, Wanda, Terry, everybody. And the reason why, because I have information about you. I can blackmail you. And tell you right now, if I give that information over to your boss back in Sicily, they're going to come over here and do some really bad things to you. So think it through. What's better, to just leave us alone or to die? And literally, the book ends on that note right there, with Spawn and Tremor brother just leaving and saying, good, the day is saved and we can move on with our day. And so with that being said, this is where we are going to end today's comic book video. So please leave me a like down below and subscribe. Also, if you have any suggestions on books I should read, well, please let me know in the comments below, because you never know, your suggestion could be a future video down the road. But guys, I'll see y'all next time. Later.